was looking for a black Limited Mega Cab with air suspension and ram boxes, and there was only like one or two in the U.S. So I am in Barneveld, Wisconsin. It's a little bit further away than I would normally go get a truck because I'm from Victoria, Texas. But anyway, that's where it's at. Flew in, picking it up. Gonna take it home. On the way home, though, what I want to do is I want to do it's about a 1,000-mile trip. So we're going to go ahead and do the fuel mileage on the 3/4 ton. This is not the HO. Just to kind of show y'all what kind of fuel mileage we get on a 1,000-mile trip. I'm not sure I've seen any of those out on the internet. So anyway, I'll flip this camera around and we'll do a walkthrough. This one is the black with the rear air suspension. That's the clearance lights. Ram boxes, deployable step. Bottom, you can see it has the air suspension. Purchased this truck from Victoria Dodge, Victoria, Texas, but had to pick it up in Barneveld, Wisconsin. There's the sticker and the options. Alright, so we stopped, we just filled up. We pretty much ran into the fuel light was on. Like 25.8 gallons. Did 2 clicks on it. Get inside. Alright. Turn that down. Reset the fuel economy. Alright, we'll do some driving and see what it does. Also need to redo the trip meter. Let's go ahead and do the trip meter. Find that one. Trip info. Do a reset on that one. All right. Get some miles on it and see how it does. So I'm kind of stuck in traffic, but we've got about 492 miles on the truck so far. And we've averaged 19.4 miles to the gallon. I've been running anywhere between 75 and 78 miles an hour for the most part. And if I look at the trip info, this is what we reset when we filled up earlier. We were at 430.2, and same thing, about 19.4 miles to the gallon. So it's actually done pretty good. Better than I expected on the mileage. I think they've definitely made some improvements on the efficiency on it. We'll get an update as soon as we fill up, and we'll hand calculate it and see how close it is. Okay, so I'm at the station. We got 430.9 miles. Display showing 19.2. We just topped the truck off. 24.56. Do another click. Okay. Second click, just like earlier. Line that up. Alright, so got the calculator out. 430.9 divided by 24.8. 24.8. So 17.3. So it's a little bit off. But overall, that's pretty close. Still pretty good mileage. We'll run a couple more 100 miles and see where we go. Okay, so I'm wrapping the trip up. I guess I'm pulling back into Victoria now. A total of 1,322 miles on the truck. When I checked it at the pump, most of the time it was about 1 mile to the gallon off, if that. So the display is actually pretty accurate on what the mileage is. And so I'm going to flip this camera around and let y'all see what we came up with and what the numbers were. Okay, so you can see the mileage is 1323, and you can see what the current is up in the right top. That's just because we're going up a hill. That's the instantaneous. Let's go to the menus, go to fuel economy. So for the total on the truck, looks like we're at 17.9 average miles per gallon, which that's pretty much all highway, and that was pretty much 75 miles an hour plus for most of the trip. So we'll look at the trip meter. So it's 1261 on the trip and right at 17.9. So that's pretty impressive. I think 18 miles per gallon is a pretty fair number for the speed driven. I think if you were to slow it down to 65, you'd probably be somewhere around the 20 mile to the gallon mark. That's what I was seeing in the instant. I was seeing 21 and 22 when I was down at 65 miles an hour. So overall, it's pretty good. After driving the truck 1,300 miles and was it 19 hours? Still very comfortable. Seats are very comfortable. Some of the things I noticed from my 19 half-ton to this truck is that the seats are a little more plush on the bottom on these 3/4 tons than the half-tons are. They've got they're a little bit softer feel. And the only other issue I think that I have found different from my half-ton is the recirculate. I haven't figured out why when you go to auto and you push the recirculate on my half-ton it would stay on. Maybe it's just a software update or a software glitch. This truck, when I start it up, I have to get in and push recirculate, but then it flashes at me and it won't go into recirculate, and I have to wait probably 10 or 15 minutes, and then I can push the button and it'll stay on. But that's something small, nothing major. As far as ride on the truck, the air suspension rides really well. I drove the off-road package ones. They rode really good too. I just noticed a little bit of difference on the air. Gonna work on, I've got wheels and tires ordered. Those will be here this coming week. And the lift, the only problem I'm having with the lift is I'm gonna probably have to do some modifications on the lift, because most of the lifts are like 3-inch in the front or 2.5-inch in the front or 1 inch in the back, or if you buy a 5-inch lift, it's a 3 in the front and 1.5 inches in the back, because you have so much rake on the standard sprung trucks. I wish BDS, I need to reach out to them and see if they're planning on building one. They did make them for the old body style, and I'm pretty sure nothing changed on the back of the truck. What my plans are today is I'm looking at a couple different lifts that are made for leaf springs, but those airbags I think have the same cradle. I'm going to look tonight and make sure the bolt patterns are the same. I think that the only reason that they don't sell those is the shocks are probably adjusted a little bit different, and the sensors for the level. But that's a pretty simple fix. If you put a 2-inch bracket in there, you just take a piece of flat metal and drill holes in it where the sensor bolts on and move the sensor down 3 inches. So if I've got to make some modifications to those base plates to get those in there, that's probably what I'm going to have to do. I think tonight I'll look at those lifts. Like I said, the biggest problem I have today is there's only a 1 inch in the back, and so I think this truck with the factory air suspension only has like a 1 inch rake, where the four-wheel drive trucks have a 2 to 2.5 inch rake. And so, you know, if I order the kit for a sprung truck and put it on here, then automatically it's going to be higher in the front. So I'm going to have to do some adjustments in the back to bring that up, and then of course that changes all the sway bars and everything else too. So I'm going to look at that, make some phone calls, see what I can figure out to make the lift work with the air suspension on this one. You know, and even that worst case scenario, if I'm going to see if I have to buy a BDS lift, and because I don't think they changed anything on the back. You can buy the BDS lift and use the stuff on the back, and then maybe buy the Carly for the front. It's a little expensive when you do it that way, but to get the right heights and to do it right, maybe that's the way it's going to have to be done until somebody comes out with a lift. So anyway, but truck did really well. Had no lights, no issues. Pretty much drove it that 1,300 miles straight in 19 hours. So no complaints yet. I did not have any of the leaking on the air conditioner on the windshield like my half-ton has. I know that's a big post. You'll see everywhere that, you know, the AC leaks out the defrost. And I think this truck's manufacturer date was 9/26. Or no, it wasn't 9/26. It was 8/26. I'm sorry. So it's a little bit of a later model production, and so maybe they fixed that issue. But in my half-ton, that's a big issue that I have, is the air conditioner blows on the windshield and fogs it up all the time. I always have to run my wipers to clean it off, and there's a lot of posts about that. So anyway, if you've got any questions, comments, leave those below. If you like the video, please like and subscribe. Appreciate you watching.